In this lesson, we'll complete the design of the Moon Ranger. Continue working on the previous model or open the starter model that's available. With the main part of the Ranger body, wheels, seat, and antenna complete, we need to add a steering wheel. We'll begin by putting a dash into the Ranger. Starting a new sketch and clicking on the back face of the front section, it will open a new sketch. In the sketch palette, select the slice icon. This will cut through the body and the two wheels that are along the same plane. Then go to the sketch pull-down and start the ellipse tool, setting the center of the ellipse to the midpoint of the top edge. Drag out an approximate size. Then we'll start the line tool and run a line across the middle of the ellipse. Using the trim tool, cut off the bottom part of the ellipse. Add a 4 mm dimension for the half height and a 4 mm dimension for the overall width. When you apply the width dimension, you might see some distortion in the sketch. Don't be alarmed, you can use constraint tools such as horizontal and coincident to realign the sketch to the top edge of the body. When the sketch is correct, start the extrude tool and extrude the profile 1 mm toward the front of the Ranger, joining it to the body. After this is done, we'll prepare to create the steering wheel in place by creating an offset plane 1.5 mm back behind the dash, and then start a new sketch on that plane. Use the circle tool to draw a 6 mm circle centered on the part origin and part way up the dash. Then draw vertical and horizontal lines through the circle. For the next step, we'll leave the solid modeling environment and go into the sculpt environment by going to the Create pull-down and selecting Create Form. When you select Create Form, it will take you to the Sculpt workspace. The Sculpt workspace is where you can do freeform modeling. The tool we'll use first is called Pipe. Once you've started the Pipe tool, select the circle and the two intersecting lines, set the global diameter to 0.5, and switch it to Smooth Display. Once you have the smooth display, click OK, and then reorient the view so you can see the back of the steering wheel. Starting the Edit Form tool, select the very center of the steering wheel. Holding your Alt key or Option key for Mac, begin dragging the manipulator toward the dash, occasionally stopping and restarting to add segments to the freeform body. Continue this till the body of the steering wheel intersects with the dash. If you like, you can use Edit Form to explore more options for modifying the freeform body of the steering wheel. When you're finished, click OK. This will take you back to the Model workspace. Back in the Model workspace, we'll start the cylinder primitive to begin creating the batteries. We can select the origin plane of the model and create a new component for battery. Setting the diameter to 4 mm and the height to 7. For clarity, turn off the body component. Give the new battery component a name and activate it. With it easier to see, start the sphere primitive and join a 4 mm sphere to the top and then to the bottom. When that's done, use the Move Copy tool to reposition the battery to the front of the Ranger. Once it's in place, you can start the Move Copy tool again, this time selecting the Create Copy checkbox to drag another instance of the battery onto the screen. This will complete the physical model of the Ranger. Now, right-click on the canvas and select Appearance from the context menu. Now you can select whatever colors you like by simply dragging them onto the various components. And in the case of the boosters, since the boosters are part of the body component, you'll need to switch the Apply To option to Faces to drag colors onto the individual faces of the boosters. With this done, you can switch over to the Render workspace and quickly generate an in-canvas rendering of your model. If you want to save the rendering, you can pause it and use the Save Image tool to save the image to your project or to your computer.